Thank you for joining us today. I'm Clara Capano.
And I'm Carissa Atkins.
And we are here to help you gain clarity and boss up to the next level. So let me ask you, are you ready to get real? How you doing today, Carissa?
Oh, girl, I'm actually doing really good. I'm rocking the pink shoes today. I'm feeling kind of confident.
I like it, I like it. Well, I've been really excited for today's episode. We are talking all about confidence and body image, and we're gonna dive in. We've got our special guest with us today, and we are gonna be just talking about how to dress for confidence, how to dress for our body, and really just think about bossing up.
Yes.
But I don't know about you, but I think I'm needing a cocktail.
I think we're missing a cocktail, Dion.
Yeah.
Hey ladies, as always, thanks for having me on the show. You know, I'm having a really problem with dressing for success today, and I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite color to wear?
So my favorite color to wear is black. I just feel like I can, because I'm a shoe girl, you can tell. So I love my color, I love my big earrings. And so I feel like just keep it simple with an outfit and then just rock it with the accessories, personally.
All right. Well, this cocktail might not be black, but I guarantee you it's going to match your shoes today.
Yeah! What about you, Claire? What's your favorite color?
I will also go with black. It's funny how both of us are not wearing that right now, but I would say if I have to go for a color, it's kind of the Merlot or eggplant that I'm wearing.
Yes. Yeah. So what's inspiring in you today, Dee?
Well, today I'm going back to tequila, an old friend, and I'm going to do a Palomaha. It's going to be a little bit of a unique spin on it because most Palomahas are made just with a little bit of agave, a little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of lime. I like to have soda. I like sparkling. So we're going to go that route. So we're going to start out with a little bit of fresh agave nectar.
And let me guess, did you make this one?
Unfortunately, I do not work on a farm,
okay.
so this one is not inspired by me. But, you know, I did put it in this bottle, so
it looks
yes.
fancy.
And then we're going to do some fresh squeezed lime juice.
It already sounds very refreshing.
I know.
Next, we're going to do some extremely freshly squeezed grapefruit juice.
Did you freshly squeeze that just a little bit
Just
ago?
a moment ago.
Yes. I can feel the confidence levels rising.
I definitely am.
Yep, just as he pours each one.
He's definitely in control over there.
I feel we are so blessed to have him for our show.
We really are.
Next, we're going to do one of my favorite tequilas, our Avion Silver.
Avion Silver.
And remember, viewers, you can get all of these amazing recipes on our website, livingrealtv.com.
Yes. So excited. He's getting ready to do his shaker dance.
Yes, I know. He's got the shaker coming on.
I wonder what song.
Yeah, what song is going to inspire us today?
Today's song is Tequila.
Tequila. Nice. Yeah.
Tequila. So unlike most of my other cocktails that I've done so far, this one requires a bit of a double strain.
And why is that?
To get some of the pith, you ever drink orange juice and it's just got too much
The pulp?
pulp in it? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when you freshly squeeze juice, you're not actually taking any of the pulp out of it.
Right.
Oh. When it's freshly squeezed.
You get the pulp. So you got to have the strainer.
Not to be not to be confused with the Pope, the guy in Europe who does.
Nope.
And then we're going to just top these off with a little pink grapefruit soda. A little sparkle. Add a little sparkle
That
to
makes
your
it
day.
more festive.
And then our garnish for these are going to be a grapefruit flower.
He just thinks of everything, doesn't he?
I mean, we do have a pretty amazing show.
We do.
So nothing but the best for that. Look at how pretty this is. Art.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
And here we go. Thanks for having me on, ladies. As always, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Clara, this obviously looks fabulous.
It's a work of art on its own.
But you know, something Dion said that we need to make sure that we do is, you know, he said make sure you smell it, right? And I'm all about that, you know, mindfulness and eating, and I'm all about like capturing the flavor. And even as before we take our sip, it is almost like that pink, that topper, that orange.
You can
it's
see
just
it in the
so
layers.
gorgeous.
And you can already smell the fragrance.
I wish y'all could smell this, but you can when you make this right at home. So thank you so much. But this one, I think we should cheers to Dion.
I think we should.
Let's do it. All right, boom, let's try it. Ooh, that's the tequila that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You had to go back for another?
I had to go back for a second. That was wonderful.
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, today we are talking about redefining beauty from the inside out, but also sometimes it has to come from the outside. We have to physically feel good about how we are showing up in the world on the outside in order for us sometimes to feel gorgeous on the inside. So we actually have an amazing guest. We're going to bring her on a little bit later. Her name is Darcy Zuha. She's an image consultant specialist. In my opinion, she's a badass boss babe, doing the thing, helping other women boss up too. So before we get into body image, I'm excited to talk about our question for the day.
Yes.
And today's question is, what hidden talent do you have?
I feel like we should have some Jeopardy music or something coming. So, you know, I believe everybody, again, we're talking about beauty, and I think one of the things that makes all of us beautiful are the things that we can do that nobody else can. And I think we all have special hidden talents. So I love this question. And you may not know it just by looking at me.
Okay.
But I can speak squirrel. I can.
I was not expecting that.
I can.
Okay, well, I feel like I need a demonstration.
You need to hear my squirrel
I do.
talk?
I wanna
Okay, here we
hear
go.
it. Oh,
So
come
I can
on.
go through the parks and I call them my little squirrels and I'm like, and they all kind of look up and they look at me
they
and
look up?
they do. We talk squirrel. Yeah.
We've heard of the horse whisperer.
Got the
but
squirrel
now
whisperer.
We've got the squirrel whisperer.
Absolutely. So if you're ever stuck in a park or in the forest and you need some acorns, let me know and I will get the lowdown on where they are.
What is that Disney movie where she like talks to all the
I
animals?
know, yes,
Is it-
Enchanted.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, there's Clara.
There's my little squirrels.
Oh,
All
my
right.
goodness.
How you gonna top that
All
one?
right. I might not, but
It's a hard one to top. I know.
I thought mine was good and juicy, but you guys, let's be real. I don't speak squirrel. But what I can do is pretty much use my toes as like a second set of hands. I know it sounds totally creepy and
That
weird.
seems like
and
it
you're all
can come in
probably-
handy.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so.
You might need to cut me off.
That was great. That was great. No pun intended there. So just a funny story with how I use my toes all the time is when you're in the shower and the drain gets hit down. And then all of a sudden you're standing and like your feet are kind of, you know, like in the water and you're like, oh, gross. Because it's all the dirty water. So I will just literally use my feet, pick the drain back thing up, and then the water goes down.
So it's for safety.
I literally pick up like clothes on the floor and I just like fling them up
There you go.
and I go. And you know, my husband, he says it's like your finger toes, right? And then of course on top of that, I love my toenails nice and long. And so it's just creepy for my entire family, but I think it's a great hidden talent. I can do a lot of things.
I think so. So, all right. So for
Crazy.
you viewers, think about your hidden talent. Feel free to write in and let us know what you can do and what makes you beautiful. But with that said, let's go ahead and bring it back to this concept of beauty.
Yes, beauty, body image, redefining what that looks like,
I know.
right? What beauty looks like to us. I think
Yeah, and I think that this is a really hard one, not just because everybody sees it differently, but I think, you know, beauty has always been thought of just from how we look on the outside and what our appearance is. And I think so many of us, you know, have such a negative self-image when it comes to beauty. You know, I know as a mom, when Nicholas was young and he went to school, he had a bully. And, you know, the bully was picking on him. So what did Mama Bear want to do? You know, Mama Bear wanted to go in there and get some things taken care of
yeah.
because somebody was bullying her baby. But what we don't realize is we all have a bully, and it's ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we talk so negatively to ourselves.
In fact, I think we're worse on ourselves than we are with anything, right?
Definitely.
I think we're our biggest enemy. I like to call that like that little committee inside of us, the itty bitty shitty committee that just loves to play, that loves to take the stage. And when you're not feeling confident with who you are, what you look like, your body image, I think that committee, the voice can get so loud if you let it, and it can then cripple you and keep you in this sense of darkness.
Yeah.
So before we kind of dive in, of course, to other amazing topics, I'm curious because we have actually not had the conversation. I don't really know how how I guess your body image played a huge role for you when you were younger. So tell me about your own body image story.
So, growing up, I am the youngest of 4. And I am very close to my middle sister, who's just 3 years older than me. And she was always really the pretty one and the skinny one. And, I wanted to be her because I love my sister. And of course, that's who I wanted to be. But I was just not built the same way. And I started to, realize as I, became a teenager, and when your body's changing and you're going into puberty and everything, all of the guys that I liked, they liked my sister. So for me, beauty meant being thin.
So your sister was thin. I was like, I need to see it.
Yeah, my sister was thin. Okay. All my guy friends liked my sister.
Okay.
So therefore, if I wanted someone to like me, I had to be thin. And I looked at all the models. It was the time of all the top models: Cindy Crawford, Paulina, all of those. Again, very thin.
Okay.
And this is where then I started to also feel like I was losing control, because it was something I wasn't in control of. It was happening outside of me. So this is where my type A personality sort of came together and married my insecurities. And I found the magic in being able to, if I could control food intake, but for me it was lack of food intake, I could then lose weight. And the challenging thing is as I started to lose the weight. Now, keep in mind, when I started this, I'm also 5 feet tall.
Right.
When I started this, I was 94 pounds. So
you weren't even
it
large
wasn't like
to begin
I
with.
was that large to begin
Yeah.
with. But in my mind, because I was chunky as a child, when I looked in the mirror, I still saw that chunky little girl.
So your sister, was she thinner than you? Is she taller than you?
She's so much taller than me.
Okay.
She's 5'1". So yes, just a giant compared to me.
Okay.
But but as I started losing the weight, boys would start paying attention to me. And so again, it was sort of that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
Of doing that. And then it just started snowballing, and I went from 94 pounds down to 78 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom took me to the doctor one day. She said, she told me we were going shopping. She's like, I'm picking you up from school and we're going shopping. And I was like, great. And she picked me up and she took me in the car, and it was kind of like the dog when you go to the vet. And she was like, yeah, we're going to the doctor.
We're actually going here.
And so
what do you think that did though on your mind? Like, first off, because like our mamas, I've had a mom story where I'm like, wait, we were going here and you're taking me here. Like, did you feel betrayed a little bit, or she thought she was crazy? Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay.
She's crazy.
All right.
So we went to the doctor, and they concurred that I was underweight, and that, so they had me take my little psychological profile.
Okay.
Do you want to kill yourself? Do you want to die? And I was battling with depression, but I'm smart, and I knew, if I check off all those boxes, they're locking me up. So I answered the questions the way that I could get away with it. So I was diagnosed with hypergymnasia, meaning I just worked out a lot.
Wow.
We just put the crazy behind.
Yeah.
So
I've never been even
we started
diagnosed with
working on that, and then we kind of worked on doing that, and I did get to the point where I was healthy again. But because we never worked on the mindset piece of it, it never went away. And so I rebounded in college when I felt out of control and was having a breakdown. I rebounded in my 20s when I was feeling out of control. So I really had to, again, redefine beauty for myself. It couldn't be thin. And I remember when I was pregnant, my family was very nervous because I clearly had to gain weight.
Yes.
And that was honestly, remarkably, the only time I didn't have a problem.
Huh.
And it didn't bother me.
I think it's important that we look at because I think society, I have a 14-year-old, right? I know you have a son, but I'm sure he goes through something with body image. I assume that everyone goes through that.
Actually, I think sometimes what I'm seeing are the teenage boys are actually the same, if not worse.
Wow.
I mean, they're always looking in the mirror and looking at their muscles, and they have it just as much.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure, right? Like at the end of the day, though, like where do these messages come in? So your sister, yes, you know, you saw the boys chasing her. We all want that at that younger age. But I think it even probably stemmed back. I bet if we really looked back and you thought, what is beauty? You would have been like, oh, I remember the magazines, and I remember this beautiful figure box of like, this is what a successful woman looks like. Yep. And then you immediately made that as that's what success looks like. Yep. That's what a beautiful woman looks like.
Yeah,
that's
for
crazy.
sure. And again, thinking about these, you know, I have to be very cautious now because, you know, it never goes away. It's always there. It's just a matter of, are you going to feed into it or not? But I have to be cautious because the way that I talk to myself, my son hears.
Yes.
And I have to remember that because I don't want him having the same messages.
Sure.
I want him to know that he is beautiful, that he is handsome, and, you know, all these things. And so it's really, you know, it's being very in tune to that. But again, you have to go back and really change what beauty is to you.
I do. I think that's important. Just like success and health and all that good stuff. Yeah, and it's crazy. And how you talk to yourself within that bully, even though you're like, oh, hey, right, showing up with that unauthentic self, you still feel the bully inside that's saying, you're not enough, you're not pretty enough, you need to go buy this. You know, like you're out shopping, you're like, that'll never look good on me. Like it's all these negative things that we have to quiet that voice. We have to learn to just turn that volume down.
Itty bitty shitty committee.
Yes, I'm telling you. Oh, it used to be so big for me. That committee was pretty big.
Yeah. And I know, you know, you've shared, you know, your journey and everything. What were some of the things that, you know, you started? One of the things I know that you said is even though you lost the weight, you were getting skinny, but you changed it in your mind and you said, you know, I don't want to just be thin, I want to be strong.
Right.
Tell me more about that and what that meant to you.
Yes. Well, I think when, you know, if you could just like imagine 5 foot, 213, hating your body, like every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, you're disgusting. Those are the messages I was telling myself. And forget even how my kid's gonna, like I didn't even think about that. I was just so deep in that ugliness. And I wasn't happy. And I honestly was chasing this figure of health. I mean, the doctor pretty much was saying, Carissa, she never said go get skinny, right? Skinny is healthy. She never said that. But I grew up with, oh, health is skinny. It must be skinny, right? When I was a gymnast, it was, you guys are healthy gymnasts. You're going to, you know, we got to get your weight down, but you're also going to be muscular. So it was just kind of weird. But when the doctor said change your lifestyle habits or risk losing everything, like risk not being around, I did. I chased a scale. I chased a number. And I would get on the scale every day. And if it was down, it was going to be a good day. If it was same, I was like, it's going to kind of like average, sure. And if it was over,
how that
yes,
one number
I was like, that
controls
defined the day. I was like, oh, I'm a pound down. I'm 5 pounds down. Like, this is going to be an awesome day. And I walked up with and I used it as motivation. But just as the same, when I stepped on and it was over, then I felt defeated automatically. Like a number can just cripple you. Yeah. And so there I was chasing this skinnier number. And in my mind, you know, it was like, well, for my height and weight, this is what I should be. Again, I should fit into this box. I should be 120 pounds. That's what I should be. And over the years, and do not get me wrong, like I loved feeling like I was like, oh, okay, I can have sex. I feel good in my body now. Like these stretch marks aren't so bad. I started loving my body absolutely along the line. But when I noticed it is when I would go into my nutritionist and I would say, this is what I want my body to look like. And I was still comparing, like I was still chasing this image, whether, you know, it was possible or not for me. I was chasing somebody else's, like what they looked like, happiness, and I wasn't truly happy. Right. And I remember then, you know, getting to that point and losing all of the weight and stepping back and being like, oh, I do. I'm gonna tell you, it's nice to walk into a store and be like, size 2 it is for me, right? Because 12s, 13s, 14s, not 13s, 12s and 14s, they're always out. I mean, there's always pluses and minuses to being small and being large. But so there I was chasing health, chasing a number, chasing what I thought would make me happy. Right. And when I got there, I was like, why am I not happy? Why do I still feel like shit? Why am I still talking crap? Why is my body not, why? And then I realized, because that's not, like, happiness doesn't come on a number.
It doesn't come on a scale.
It doesn't. It doesn't all of a sudden say, oh, you've hit it, you've made it, right? Just like $1 million isn't going to make you feel successful if you don't honestly believe in yourself. Anyone can make that. Anyone can lose weight. So until I think you really start to love who you are, and I had to learn that, I had to heal that trauma that I had to overcome some of those major demons within inside of me, that negative voice, because she would have still be playing today had I not taken the time to heal that shitty committee inside, right? And then just like a quick story on the opposite side. So there I am, fit, right? And I remember thinking, now I feel confident, I feel good, but what is health to me? Like, I had to redefine it for me, and I was like, health is a healthy mind. Health is a healthy body, a healthy bank account, a healthy business. Like, health is in everything that we do. Like, being fit in everything is really, really important to me, that finding that balance. And I remember walking in, and he said, okay, what are our goals this year? And I said, I want to be strong, damn it. You know, and I broke down, because I was like, I don't even feel strong. And I sat there, and he's like, okay. And he goes, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like it, because I'm going to make you eat a lot of food. You've just been on, like, less food.
So
right?
that would
not
freak
a diet.
That would freak
not
me
a
out.
Diet, not deprivation. I still got to eat the foods that I liked, but it was, you know, less. Like, I mean, it's a numbers game when you want to lose weight. But yeah, he said, okay, if you're wanting to get strong and you're wanting to look lean and tone, you're going to be eating a little bit more food, and you need to be comfortable, and you need to be prepared that the scale is going to go up. And I was like, oh, not a problem. I'm so blah, 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 right? I'm confident in that. But I'm telling you, from 125 to 127 to 130 to 135, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I want to be strong anymore. And then he kind of like slapped me mentally, and he's, you know, as a good coach does, and he's like, no, you need to remember the vision, go back to what you want. This number doesn't, it's not you. It doesn't define you. So.
And again, just going back to, you know, just like sometimes we have to redefine success, how I had to stop checking off the boxes. You know, again, you have to redefine what is beautiful, you know, and for me now, when I think beautiful, I think having loving relationships.
Yeah.
You know, looking in the mirror and truly loving the person that I see looking back at me.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, I, you know, ask myself, did I show love today? You know, and if I can do that, you know, those are things that, because I want to be a beautiful person.
Right.
You know, and I know that if I'm a beautiful person, and don't get me wrong, I like when the clothes fit me well. I have my certain outfits that I can rock it in, but at the end of the day, again, I have to feel beautiful for me. And what I hate is sometimes I'm like, I feel so good, I feel so in control, and then I get on the scale, and I'm like, deflated. And it's such a shame. And since we're getting real here, I have to share a story, and viewers, crazy town sometimes upstairs. So one of my favorite things ever, when I go to like the airport and you go to the restroom and they have the automatic flushers, if it doesn't flush automatically, I love it because I'm too small and it doesn't recognize me.
I've heard that story, so I'm like, I'm sorry, I gave it away, I feel like, so I'm like, oh, this one's a good one.
It's a good one.
Oh my god.
But it's like, you know, how does that impact, you know, your image of yourself? Because a toilet flushes or doesn't flush, that's going to be if it's a successful day.
Yes.
So I'm really working on sort of repackaging that. So.
Oh my goodness. You guys, you are listening to Living Real TV, and when, you know, we come back, I'm really, really excited because we got our guest.
We got our guest.
We're also going to be giving you 3 quick tips on how you can quiet that inner voice that is just bringing you down so that you can step up with confidence and love your body from the inside out and from the outside in. So you guys, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Clara Capano with Capano Speaking and Training, and I am here to get you clarity. As the strategist for the Smart Woman, I've spent over 20 years working with women in business, helping them to recreate what success looks like for them, to get them off that hamster wheel and to get them into running a purpose-driven business. When you work with me, you're going to find real strategies that are going to help you gain immediate traction in both your personal and professional life. So follow me and find out all you need to get you clarity at claracapano.com.
Well, welcome back, viewers, and we are continuing our conversation on body image and beauty. And what we want to do before we get to our guest is we want to just go over some quick tips to help you quiet that inner brain and that inner, what is it, itty bitty shitty committee that can sometimes, you know, be more damaging than it's worth. So when you hear your inner bully coming out, what are some things that you do to help quiet your mind?
Well, I learned this tool, I think, through a book, and then it was reinforced through my coaching and all the certifications and whatnot. But I think when you hear that voice come in, the very first step is you have to become aware. So you have to hear it.
Sure.
I think the voice is now a habit for most women. It's just like it constantly plays a role. And so the first tip is just to accept that it's in the room with you. Like, okay, girl, I hear you, because its intention is positive, right? That's like this deep, the subconscious just saying, I don't want you to do anything that you might regret a little later, so let's just protect yourself. So I think it's important to be like, okay, I see you, but I'm in control, I've got this, I'm gonna put you in the back seat for right now. And then that just puts you back into control. So my tip would be becoming aware that the itty bitty shitty committee is there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. What about you?
You know, sometimes what I try to do is I try to focus on, you know, a win that I had for the day, because I like to, again, feel in control, and it makes me feel powerful. So I start to think about, you know, and at the end of the day, I like to ask myself again, you know, did I contribute to the world positively? Did I show love? Did I inspire? Because if I can focus on those things, again, it shifts it from the negative self-talk more into the positive. So it kind of brings me more aware of, again, the beautiful person, because I want to be a beautiful person, and I know that will resonate out.
So I guess the third tip would just really hashing in with, you got to redefine what beauty is to you.
You have to really redefine it.
It's not a sexy pair of shoes.
No.
It's knowing that, you know, if you left this earth, I can honestly say Claire loved, she inspired, she gave back, she did her, you know.
And Carissa was a badass and, you know, got us all to boss up. But I think that's so true. So, you know, loving yourself, again, really just redefining, because we're all built differently. And, you know, even if we all weighed the same amount and we're the same height, we would all wear it differently. So that can't be the playing field. It's like we've got to look deeper than that.
Wow. Speaking of
that,
we're all built so differently.
Yeah, we need to take it to an expert, don't we?
Yes, let's bring on the expert, Miss Amazing Darcy Zuha. And she is the CEO, right, and founder of House of Color. Correct me?
House of Color West Omaha.
Okay, beautiful. Wonderful. And you guys, she is a body image specialist. We're going to talk shapes, we're going to talk colors, we're going to talk all of the juicy tips and strategies to help us show up with confidence from that outside. So Darcy, tell us a little bit about you and your story, if you don't mind.
Sure, sure. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I have been an image consultant with House of Color for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
And how I was introduced to it was really through color. And I had someone present that there were some colors that were going to be better for you than others, and it wasn't all this cookie cutter thing, and everybody has these unique undertones and things about them, and it was really interesting to me. And so I went and discovered my colors and ultimately found out that I'm a particular season.
Okay.
But then also found out about style and really loved the process and had told 1 million people about it, and it really changed the way I thought about myself. And then about 2.5 years ago, or about 3 years ago, I kind of looked into, okay, what would this look like if I gave this information and these gifts to these people?
Yeah.
And so I did that. So we're headquartered in London in the UK, and so I went there to train and was there for 8 days just to learn the color portion, and then another 8 days for style, and that was here in the United States. And so then for the past 2.5 years, I've been able to share that with people in really across the world, and then also in the Omaha area.
I think it's just so amazing, you know, there is a science behind it, because I think for so many people, they don't just necessarily have that gift, you know, and shopping. I know one of my sisters loves to shop and the other one, forget it. And it's so intimidating to her. So being able to have some tips to look for what's going to be best on you, you know, I just think it's such a powerful skill set to have.
Right. And we are all, what you were talking about with just body image and getting as skinny as you can, our bodies are really just shapes. I mean, they're really just shapes. And so if you think about a beautiful tablescape, think about a holiday tablescape or a dinner party, and as you're thinking about that, it's not really the shape of the table. that you're paying attention to. But what you are thinking, well, and really the table is what our architecture is.
Okay.
So if you've got a rectangle table, you're not going to put a round tablecloth on that table. And if you've got a round table, you're not going to put a rectangle on that. And so really, we are letting the tablecloth dictate how we're thinking about our table. That's really what's happening.
That, absolutely.
So really just kind of figuring out what silhouette do I need to have for my architecture, and how that's going to be different than your sister or your mom or your best friend or whatever, because there's going to be some things that really fit you well, and actually finding something that fits you. A lot of times if we're feeling not great about ourselves, we'll wear things that are too big, thinking that we're looking smaller, and we're not, we're looking bigger. Or we'll put on things that are too small instead of things that fit. We're chasing the 6 in the pants when the 8s are what fit.
Right.
And so kind of getting rid of that idea about the number is the defining thing. And it may not be the scale, it could be what's in the pants or the shirts. You know, there's nothing, there's something that is about an ill-fitting bra and ill-fitting pants that can wreck your mood quicker than anything. And you don't even know that that's what it is.
Right.
It's because it doesn't fit you right.
Yes.
So figuring out what you need to look for in those clothes and just how to really look at clothes differently is a lot of what I do.
So how does one figure, like you said, figure out what kind of clothes is for your body shape? If I'm a rectangle, you know, like just give it to me straight, Darcy. Like how does one figure out, like, because I've seen magazines where like, if this is your body, this is what you should wear, and this is your body, and I'm like, well, I'm not any of those bodies quite yet.
Right. Really, a style consultation and working with an individual coach is really the best way to really truly figure that out. But you can, I mean, if you figure out, okay, I'm a rectangle that's got a little bit of a waist, you can YouTube that and find out how to dress that shape. The thing about that is, if you have that kind of rectangle shape, that's going to put you into fairly classic looking clothes. It's going to be blazers and button-down shirts and that kind of thing. And if you have a personality that is going to be more feminine, they want some feminine details, and there's a youthfulness and an energy about you, that dressing like that, you'll feel like a coat hanger. You won't feel authentic to yourself. So you're putting yourself in clothes that make you feel like a banker. But if you dress just with your personality, then your body is saying, okay, what is all this frill? Why are all these small florals happening? And so when you look at, you've got to combine both of them. So it's really about your architecture, your personality, and where you are in your life. You're dressing differently now than you did when you got right out of college.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
So that's something that evolves. It evolves over time. Yeah. So figuring that out, and then figuring out the stores that are going to kind of cater to whatever your clothing personality is. Like I go into White House Black Market. It's pretty structured in there. Banana Republic is pretty structured, but for my body shape, I've got more curve, and I've got kind of a bigger, bolder type of personality, and so I need things that are a little bit flowier. So Loft is going to be good. Anthropologie is going to be good. So those kinds of stores, you know you're going to have luck in, and the color palette comes into play too.
I will say, I've walked into stores and I'm like flicking. I'm like, none of this is me.
It doesn't fit.
Why did someone recommend me coming here? I'm like, this is terrible. And then I walk out feeling defeated. Like, I got nothing. Well, what a waste of my time now.
And you can get yourself to become an expert in yourself so that you walk in the doorway of a store, you can scan it and know immediately, am I going to have luck here or not? And if you're not going to have luck there, move on. It's not the store for you. How many millions of stores are out there? A million.
Yeah.
And I think what you talked about is, you know, we're all so different. So again, just because something may look good on my sister and my best friend, even though we might be the same size, it's not going to look the same on me. And I think understanding that and not letting that defeat you, you know, if it doesn't look as it does on the mannequin or on whatever it was, and again, really owning in your own individual style.
I think that's probably the hardest part, is figuring out who you are and be willing to accept that this is me and I need to dress for me and not to please everyone else.
A lot of people are on a continuum. It's like they're on a train and they're on a track. They've got a uniform. They always wear leggings and a t-shirt and a flannel, or it's always pattern top, cardigan, and jeans. So it's easy to get dressed, but it's kind of boring, and you never deviate from that. And then on the other end, you've got the Audubon, where there's no lanes. Everybody's going very fast. Your closet might look like 5 or 6 people live there because you've got that many styles in there. And when you hone in on what your style is, it's like putting white lines on the highway. You've got room to move. You know the trends to try. You have some freedom to do some things so you're not on that train track, but you've also figured out, okay, dolman sleeves make me look like a bat, or whatever it is. So when you figure that out, then you can say no to trends that aren't for you and embrace the ones that are, and also get things that are classic to you. And it may not be that navy blazer that you want to look good in, but feels like jail.
That reminds me, she pretty much spoke your language for a minute there. I don't know if you caught it. She helps helps women find clarity.
Okay.
And you clearly help women find clarity within their wardrobes, within their colors.
Absolutely.
So let's switch to colors.
Yeah, I
am
want to
curious.
find out. I'm very curious.
Colors are black. So you can be real. This is, real conversations for real women who need to hear real shit.
Exactly. Because again, I do. I love black. That's probably 9/10 of my wardrobe. I have started to bring some color in.
Right.
But it's really hard to know what works, what doesn't. I change my hairstyle. So talk to us about colors.
Sure. Well, everybody has an undertone to their skin, and it's either going to be warm undertones or cool undertones. Okay. There's no neutral. If you've ever gone to a makeup store and they told you that you were neutral, that just means you're tricky. Okay. And so
I was lied to.
And you might not even be tricky. It could just be that a makeup store is terrible.
Are you kidding me?
So everybody has colors that will complement. Colors will either complement you or they will compete with you.
Okay.
And wearing the things that naturally complement you, that's a lot of what I do. So figuring out your warm or cool undertones. Okay. And then colors can either be clear and saturated or soft and muted. Okay. So based on those two things, do you have warm or cool? And then do you have clear or is muted better? That puts you into a season.
Oh, because I didn't know what you meant earlier by season. I was like, I don't think she's on the right. So no, I'm just kidding.
Where's the weather girl? I don't know. So it is really about figuring out what complements you. What do those things have in common? Because you've seen color work for you or work against you.
Yeah, I felt
you didn't get great sleep. You don't feel that good. You look in the mirror and you think, I can work with this. This isn't so bad. And then there's other times when you feel great, and then you put something on, and somebody tells you, "Are you feeling okay?" So you've seen it happen. You just maybe didn't know what it was. So figuring out the undertone and whether bright or clear is better, and that, that changes how you look at clothes, how you do makeup, how you do your hair. Because nature always gets it right. Your hair will always, your natural hair color will always look right on you. You don't have to love it. I haven't seen my natural hair color since I
don't even know anymore.
And mine's coming in a nice silver.
Right. So knowing, do I have warm or cool undertones, that helps your colorist know how to help you. And so it really is powerful because when you show up your very best, because the style is working great for you, you're wearing clothes that fit you, and you're wearing colors that naturally complement you, you don't have to do that much. Everything in your closet is gonna work. And you'll probably have fewer things, but actually more, because it will all go together. You like it all, and so you go from wearing 20% of your clothes 80% of the time to wearing 80% of your clothes 95% of the time.
I am guilty of a closet full of stuff I don't wear.
Yeah, and we all do. And if you have things in your closet that still have the tags on after 2 weeks, you're never going to wear them.
Ever.
So
is this why when you just said that, right? Like if I can be in the wardrobe, in the dressing room, and I try on something, and their lighting is a little off, or say that day I'm just feeling like a rock star, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is me all day long. And then I get home and then I don't wear it, and every time I put it on, I'm like, this is just gross. And is that because I've obviously chosen the wrong color or outfit, or is it?
Well, some of it is just the lighting in the store, and why stores don't invest in amazing lighting. They would sell so many more clothes, honestly. But it's not about the color. It's what's the color doing to your face. So when you're in the dressing room and you're seeing, do I look tired, or am I going straight to the clothes? Because it might be that it's just too bright. And so the clothes are drawing the attention. You want everything you're doing to draw attention to your eyes. Your hair, your accessories, your makeup, you want all of it. Your lipstick, all of it going right here. And so when your eyes go to the clothes, give it another thought. Or when you get home, try it on in natural light and see, are my eyes going here? or are they going
That's
here?
really a good test.
That is.
Okay.
Because that's what you find. That's when you find things that will compliment you.
Okay.
And you don't need as much makeup. You don't need to try as hard when you're naturally complimenting. And there have been times when I bought something, went to my car, looked at it in natural light, and I was like, well, geez, this is not right at all. And then I go back in and return it, and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, well, here's the thing.
Is anything damaged?
Yeah,
Nope, I just got
I
it
need
wrong.
cool and muted, and this is warm and muted, so it's not for me.
Yeah.
So seasons.
I want to see.
Sorry.
You got all your
You got
little
stuff, and then we
stuff
got
there. So.
Well, and during a color consultation, this is when we
Okay.
do this. So you come in with no makeup. We pull your hair back if you color it, because
Okay.
what I need to see is what's happening to your face. And invariably, when a woman sits down in front of that mirror, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this. And that negative, that
start to-
committee
yep.
is in there. And it's so fun when the script starts to flip, because what we do is we just compare and look at different things. So I always thought I looked great in coral. And I'm going to put this one on first, if you can kind of see it. I don't know if you can or not. But I thought I looked great in coral because people would say, that's a great dress. That's a great sweater.
Yes.
Well, I kind of look like a cantaloupe in coral. It's warm undertones, and it's
Okay.
not drawing attention to my eyes.
Yeah.
But when I wear something like this, then it becomes, wow, your eyes are
Yeah,
blue.
you're
Yes,
absolutely.
it did.
Or did you just get back from vacation? Like, they don't even know what it is.
Right.
And so when someone tells you, that looks amazing on you, or you look amazing today, versus that's a great dress.
Okay.
Hear that compliment and what they're saying.
totally different.
And not everybody's going to get it right exactly all the time.
No, but it's totally
It is
different to
different.
say
I've
that.
had women who are like, oh, I love your dress. And I'm like, thanks. But they're not saying,
So now you know, get
look
rid of the
fabulous
get rid
in
of the dress.
Well, but it is also kind of looking at, is it drawing attention to my eyes, or is everybody so used to me in black that when I wear anything else, it's different? And so now it's paying attention. So whatever your season is, any dark neutral in your season is going to do the exact same thing that black does in a kinder way. Doesn't mean you can't ever wear black. We don't tell people you can never wear black. Just know there's going to be things that will help you look better in a kinder way that will do those same things. So
you've got Claire and I who are like, okay, we're not getting rid of the cute black dresses.
Right.
So do you then say same things with accessories? Like you're bringing in the colors that would, is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
So with each season is going to have different metals that are going to work best. But in general, if you've got warm undertones, gold is going to be really flattering.
Okay.
And if you've got cool undertones, then silver is going to be flattering.
Okay.
And so we do talk a little bit more in depth depending on what your season is. But it's not my goal to have everybody walking into the world feeling like they got to look like a rainbow all the time. Because you've got to know your best neutrals too. I mean,
Right.
I am in really all neutrals except for my green. So knowing the neutrals that really have high impact and draw attention to your eyes, that's a lot of what we do too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I have a question, because we always hear, as a woman, you got to have that little black dress. And we've already talked about how one size doesn't fit all.
Right.
Are there maybe 2 or 3 pieces that you feel every woman should have?
Okay. Well, first of all, instead of a little black dress, everybody needs a little red dress.
I just got one.
We gotta go find me one.
There you go. Because true red doesn't have any warm undertones and it doesn't have any cool undertones.
Okay.
And so true red fits in every season.
Oh.
Now you add a little yellow to true red, now you've got a tomato red. You add a little blue, now you've got a cherry red.
Yeah.
So figuring
Yeah.
out your best red, that's part of the process too.
Okay.
But as far as an actual item, I think knowing what your best white is and a great overall shirt, blouse. It doesn't have to be buttoned down, it doesn't have to have a collar, but some kind of great, whatever your white is and whatever your classic blouse is, that is really key. And I think having some great neutrals in your dress pants, if you're in a corporate environment,
Sure, yeah.
having some great dress pants in those key neutrals that fit great, that you feel amazing in, and you should feel like a 10. When you buy clothes, did your moms, when you bought shoes when you were a kid, did she let you wear your shoes out of the store?
No.
Yes.
Okay, wasn't that the best?
I know, I loved it.
It was the
I
best.
was like, I don't want to put them in the box. I want to wear them now.
Right. You should feel that way when you are checking out and
should wanna rip the
taking
tag off
something
and go
out.
to a different
I cannot wait to wear this. So if you don't feel like I cannot wait to wear this, think again. Because if it's fine, or if it's close, or if it's, this is different.
Those are the magic words.
It might hang in your closet for a real long time.
Okay.
So, but I would say those great pants, and I would say great denim, the
great
best
denim.
denim you can afford, because try on some expensive denim, like $250 or whatever is expensive to you, without even looking at the price tag.
Okay.
Just try on a bunch of different kinds, pick your
totally
favorite,
different.
then look at the price tag. Because once you feel what really good quality denim feels like, it's real difficult to settle for a $35 pair of jeans.
I did that, and I had some friends, they had an intervention on me, and I'm testament to say, splurge on the jeans.
Yeah, and here's the thing, what we do with jeans is we try on steak, and then we try and buy hamburger, hoping it will turn into steak. I can replicate this. I can find this. I can find this somewhere else. I just need to find it. I just need to go to the right spot. So and that's one of the things we talk about in style is you cannot keep buying hamburger and expect it to turn into steak. You just can't.
I think that's a great I love that analogy because I do the same thing with like diet. Like people want to lose weight. I'm like, okay, well, then you cannot buy hamburger, right? Like you got to work with a steak. I'm the steak, work with me, right? Like don't buy the hamburger.
But let's be real here because not everybody can afford $250 jeans or, you know, expensive clothes. So if they're on a budget, what are maybe some tips?
I think consigning is a great way to find great clothes.
Okay.
And especially after COVID, we've had a lot of people that have done a lot of fluctuating weight-wise. So there's a lot of people that are getting rid of things that don't fit any longer. And so places like Poshmark or local consignment stores, they are great places to find some high quality things. And when you know a particular brand of jeans and how it fits you and you don't want that $250 price tag, and you go out to a Poshmark or somewhere like that and you put that in, you can find them pre-loved. And then
There's
also
probably
Pre-loved, I like that.
and
pre-loved.
So that's probably my best tip is know the brands that you want and then shop for those in consignment places.
Cool.
And
Great.
yeah.
How did you grow up? I'm curious with clothes.
You know, I grew up on a farm and I have a younger sister. And so for us, it felt like a big deal. I remember in the 4th grade, I had some jeans that had embroidery on the pocket in the shape of a cowboy boot, and I thought that I've arrived. I have arrived. And so for me, and I never one time thought about my weight in high school ever. Ever. I was an athlete. I never thought about it. And then when I went to college, it was a little bit of a different story because now I'm not an athlete and we're eating a lot of pizza. And so it definitely changed. And so I think there was definitely a time when I felt like, oh, and after you have babies too, you just don't feel like yourself. And and for me, clothes was never a big status thing, but I always wanted to look nice. I always wanted to look good. I never wanted to really feel sloppy, but at the same time, I always wanted to be comfortable. So that really spoke to my clothing personality, which is why I can't put myself in a white button-down shirt and a blazer. As awesome as that looks on people, it's just not me. So that, and honestly, I worked in youth sports for almost 10 years prior to this, and so you're real casual. I mean, I coached baseball and sat in a lot of ball fields. So you wear what your life needs you to, and then in doing this, I've really found that when I look nice and when and that really does help your image. It helps the talk that you're hearing, and when you look in the mirror, and when you're in clothes that fit you well, you will look thinner if that's kind of what your goal is. Because if you find the silhouettes that you need, it is really magic. And just finding, you know, is an Empire waist better for me, or is it lower? Do I need, even though everybody is wearing paper bag waist pants and they're super cute, but they're high rise. I have a short torso. And so for me, I'm like, if those pants are hitting me right here, and if I got to tuck that in, we got a big problem. So knowing that paper bag waist pants are not going to be for me, or if I'm going to do them, they need to be a lower rise for my proportions. Just knowing that helps me to shop better, and it helps me to help other people see what they don't see. We were doing a photo shoot or something, and this gal, she said, "Thank you for helping me feel pretty." And I said, "You've always been pretty. I just helped you see it." And that's really what it is.
I'm sorry.
No, and I mean, and I think that's just such a great way to, you know, bring it full circle. As again, you always are beautiful. It's just, you know, sometimes we just need to do some things and take our own blinders off so that we can see it. So, what an amazing episode. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go shopping.
I hate shopping, so I'll let you take me shopping. I do, before we close out, I want to just, one of my favorite things is like, what is a golden nugget that you could leave with? Like, what is some piece of advice for women watching today?
I would say when you look in the mirror, see what is authentically there. Be authentic to yourself and do some time, because some people really, this is not a nugget, this is a longer piece, so I need to break this down. But be authentic to yourself. And if you need help figuring out what that authenticity is, get it.
Get the help.
And get it, because we shouldn't be stumbling around trying to figure out what works when there's people out there that can really help you.
And that I think has been an underlining message. It's just being authentic. We started our season with authenticity and taking off the mask, but beautiful. Darcy, thank you so much.
I learned so much. This is really great.
I will rewatch this and write all of those golden nuggets down. You guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. We hope that it really inspired you to take action on your real life. We wish you abundance and happiness and joy. And remember, you can catch every single episode on motivationandsuccesstv.com. Or you can catch the replays there as well. So thanks again, and keep living real.